Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA, and today we're going to be reviewing one of the most hyped up chains in recent years. We're going to be reviewing the highly touted Eataly, which lots of people swear by and people say is one of the few and best places to get authentic and diverse authentic Italian cuisine. Now, I've actually been to Eataly a few times, and I'm just gonna be honest, I've had pretty good experiences with Eataly, but detractors say that Eataly is overhyped, it's way too expensive, and they say that it's expensive because it's feeding off of this, snobby coastal elite hype. That's what people say. So we're gonna find out the truth. We're gonna eat Eataly, and we're gonna see if Eataly is legit, if it's just an overpriced tourist trap or overpriced foodie trap, or if it's legit and if it's worth it. So let's go check it out. Man, I am gonna say though, we're already getting close to Eataly, and they have these fake vines. Are they fake? Yeah, fake. They're definitely fake. They have these fake vines decorating this walkway. I don't know, I feel like this is a little bit too much. It's less like I'm going grocery shopping or eating at a nice restaurant. This is almost like I'm in like Vegas or something. Alright guys, so we are inside Eataly now, but as you can see behind me, this place is pretty crowded. I mean, this is not even like peak time, but I've been before when this location, this flagship New York location, is like shoulder to shoulder. It's not even that bad right now. Sometimes it's even hard to move or to move around. So, we're gonna cut our losses. Let me show you. We're gonna go to the downtown location, the Pastaio location. That one is much more chilled and less crowded. Okay guys, we just got off at the World Trade Station. Really cool station, and worth seeing if you've never seen it. Now, Eataly is actually inside this train station, or it might not be inside it, it might technically be right next to it, but it's connected, and the whole thing is so connected that it's basically inside it. So let's go check it out. Okay, we made it to the Eataly Downtown Pastaio location, and let me show you. Compared to the flagship Flatiron location, it's definitely less crowded here. As you can see, a little bit more breathing room than at that place. It might partially be because it's just more spacious of a store in general, but as you can see, definitely not as crowded, not as shoulder to shoulder. So come here until the locals catch on. Now it's pretty cool. I mean, they sell some really cool things here. Like, look, these are all fresh handmade pastas, like fresh dough, not dried or frozen or anything. Like in the back there, you can see they have someone making it fresh daily, pretty much all the time. But they also have a pretty good selection of dried pastas as well. And dried pasta is not always bad. I know sometimes in my videos it does imply that I'm saying that, but no, there are good quality dried pastas as well, and sometimes dried pasta actually can be preferred for that al dente bite to it. And then here they have some nice pastries. Now let me tell you, this is a really good sign when they have cannoli shells, not pre-filled, just waiting to be filled on the spot by hand. And they also have what I hear are some pretty authentic flavors like sheep's milk ricotta. I've been kind of reading more about Italian food recently, and apparently that's a real classic Italian flavor. So, gotta try this whenever we get a chance. Their produce and like their meat and seafood are also a pretty decent quality. Like they have some cool things like octopus, and this fish just has such a great shine to it, but oh my goodness, 26 bucks per pound for salmon? Oh geez. Now their cheese selections are quite impressive. When you walk through the store, you kind of see these big blocks of Parmesan cheese. Not blocks, I meant huge wheels of Parmesan cheese. So, pretty cool. And apparently a lot of Italian stuff in the US is all fake, or it's like heavily Americanized, which is okay, but the problem is that it's marketed as authentic. From what I've been reading recently about Italian food, Eataly apparently is supposed to be pretty legit, and there's a few telltale signs for this. One telltale sign that this is real Parmesan, or, you know, Parmigiano Reggiano. Apparently real Parmesan cheese is all made in the same spot, and they stamp all of them. So if you just look at like the back of these wedges that they sliced, all of these have these dot engravings that say Parmigiano Reggiano. Sorry, I'm not Italian, nor have I ever learned Italian, so I'm sure I butchered that. But when you see these dots, I mean, it doesn't get easier than that, right? Like if you see these dots stamping these as Parmigiano Reggiano, that's how you know that this mark on the rind means that you're eating real Parmesan cheese. Apparently another factor too of legit Parmesan cheese is when you kind of have these dots in the cheese. That's what I read, is that some people are afraid of these dots. They think that it might be like mold or something, but no, apparently these dots are good. Like apparently these white dots mean that the cheese is continuing to age and, you know, giving it better texture and good flavor. And that's also indicative of the fact that this is indeed cut from a whole wheel. So these are actually cut from a full wheel of cheese, so apparently that's one way to tell also if this is legit Parmesan cheese. Anyways, you know, we could do a whole video just showing you everything in the market, but let's go to the restaurant and eat some food and see if the food lives up to the hype. Before we go eat though, the last thing I want to say about this location is I also feel like this location has more of like a genuine, like, you know, market feel to it. Like it doesn't feel as touristy, less Las Vegas-like in feel. You know, I kind of want to go to a market and just buy good things to eat and eat good things. I don't necessarily want to always feel like I'm in like Vegas or Atlantic City or like Italian Disney World or something. So that's another reason why I like this place. Less crowded and less commercialized. Okay, so we are seated inside one of the restaurants inside Eataly. So earlier I said that all of the Eataly locations have one restaurant, but I might have misspoke. They actually usually have a couple. This one is called La Pizza La Pasta. You guessed it, they specialize in pizza and pasta. Now they have plenty of seating at the sit-down area, and it's really nice, and I've been here before, and last time I sat there. This time though, we decided to sit at the bar here, and I actually kind of prefer this because you can kind of see people making food in front of you, and I don't know, it feels more casual, and you know, it's kind of like dinner and a show, sort of, but getting pretty hungry, so let me show you the menu at this Eataly restaurant real quick. All right, let's take a look at the menu, and right off the bat, they're really plugging, you know, how good and authentic their Italian food is. We'll have to see if the taste lives up to the hype, so to say. And I kind of like this menu because it's like not too little, not too much. It's like a perfect amount. You know, it's not quite Cheesecake Factory or diner level huge, but it's got just enough variety for there to be a lot of, you know, something for everyone, but few enough where they can really focus on quality, I think. You know, so many items, I don't really know what to get, but I think the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna get one of each of these things. We're gonna get one antipasti, which I think is kind of like an appetizer. We're gonna get one pasta, and we're gonna get a pizza. So, all these antipastis look good, but you know, craving some seafood today and craving something nice and oily and fried, so you know what, call me basic, but let's get the calamari, the fried calamari. And these pastas, all these pastas look good, especially since they say they're house-made, which I presume means that these are handmade pastas and not from a box. As said earlier, not that box pasta is bad if it's good quality and al dente, but you know, I personally really like handmade pastas. So all of these look pretty good. Can't really decide what I want. I am a sucker for gnocchi, and they have a whole gnocchi section, but you know what? Let's go with one of my favorite Italian pastas, Cacho e Pepe. Is that right? Cacho e Pepe? Sorry, Italians, please correct my pronunciation. But we're gonna get a Cacho e Pepe, basically spaghetti, cheese, and black pepper. Just a few ingredients, beautiful in its simplicity. And when you can't decide which of the pizzas to get because they all look good, you know, just keep it simple like I did with the earlier items. So, let's just do a classic margarita pizza.
All right. Right, this is the calamari.
Looks like our food is here. All right, the first item has arrived. Fried calamari with, I believe, zucchini as well. And you know, this calamari looks fried in a really interesting way. It almost kind of resembles like Japanese tempura, just the way it's battered and fried. So, smells great. Can't wait to eat this. So, let's try a piece of the deep fried calamari. Bon appetito. Really freshly fried, like it's still warm, almost hot. Like I'm surprised there's no steam coming out because it's not just warm, it's like so fresh, it's like hot from the fryer. The breading is not too greasy. I do wish it were slightly crunchier, but it's got like a little bit of crunch, but a little bit of chew as well. It really does kind of resemble tempura, just like a different batter recipe. And the squid inside, it's not all batter. It really is like a pretty generous amount of calamari inside. See, by biting it in half, you can see it's pretty generous squid portion, more lightly battered than, you know, a bunch of batter and just a little thin ring of squid on the inside. So I dig this. There's only one criticism I gotta say. I only ate 2 calamaris and there's now almost none left. I know this is a calamari and zucchini dish, but just look. I ate 2 calamaris and are there even any calamaris left? The rest are all zucchinis. Look, I think this is the last one left. I mean, I ordered a calamari and zucchini plate. This is like a zucchini plate and, you know, they were just nice to give you some calamari or some stray calamaris fell inside. So I gotta say, Eataly, they gotta up your game here. I mean, this is really, really stingy not to give me almost any calamaris. I guess let's try some of these zucchini since they were so generous with the zucchini. I mean, the zucchini's fine. It tastes good. The zucchini is nice and fresh still and, you know, nice and juicy on the inside and fried perfectly, you know, crispy on the outside. The zucchinis are actually crispier than the calamari. So these are actually like some almost like fresher, maybe healthier French fries. They taste really, really good. But once again, guys, I cannot get past the fact that this is a fried calamari and zucchini dish and just look at how few, yo, I only ate 2 calamaris. Where are the calamaris? This is just outrageous. Let's snack on these zucchinis, why don't we? While we wait for the rest of our food. I will admit, the zucchini is quite nice. Thank you. Wow, the pizza is here. Look at this. The Margarita Pizza. And at this place, Eataly, you see them making it fresh. Like you see them making it in an open kitchen, in like a wood-fired oven. And this looks pretty good, I gotta say. Margarita Pizza being the OG authentic Italian pizza. So, got some nice spots there. I believe that's called like leopard spotting or something like that. Or actually, I think the leopard spots are what's on the bottom. But yeah, we see leopard spots on the bottom of this pizza, which they say is a very good sign. And it's looking like some really fresh tomato sauce. Not canned, those look like hand-crushed tomatoes. Hand-crushed fresh tomatoes if I had to guess. Nothing to it but to try it. Oh man, I can tell this is gonna be good. Just look at the way this dough like comes apart. Just look at that. Nice and pliable. Just look at that dough texture. Well, I guess it looks a little floppy, so hopefully it's not quite as soft as it looks, but we'll give it a chance. All right. You know, I gotta say, maybe it's just because I've had some really good Neapolitan style pizza before. Like this one place near New York City in Jersey City called Raza Pizza does it pretty well. I gotta say, this is probably not the best Neapolitan style pizza I've had. I was singing the praises earlier about how amazing the fresh tomato sauce was, but I think it's a little bit wet. Like if you look, the pizza came pretty fresh and hot, but it's gotten a little bit soggy. I mean, Italians, let me know if it's supposed to be like that, these authentic joints, but it's so soggy that, you know, I was saying, hey, look at how pliable and wiggly the pizza is, but it turns out that's because the pizza has gotten quite wet from the fresh mozzarella and all the wet tomato sauce. And it's so soggy that when Tina was eating a slice, all her toppings kind of like dripped off. Like, let's see if that happens when I hold this one up. Yeah, see, look. I just lifted it a little bit. Like, just look, the pizza's like completely soaked on the inside. Let me know, Italians, if that's how it's supposed to be. I do hear that in Europe, people tend to eat these with a fork and knife rather than with their hands like us, you know, barbaric Americans, but the texture leaves a bit to be desired. Although I will say, let's talk about what's good. Indeed, you can taste some of that wood-fired flavor, you know? Indeed, you can taste the fire-burned oven. You can taste this charred crust on the bottom. Indeed, this tomato sauce is really fresh, you know, really sweet, fresh tomato flavor. Not sweet in like a ketchup-y processed way like pizza joints in America sometimes are. I ate most of the cheese here, but let's just say the cheese is also really fresh tasting, if not a little bit too much and wet. I think the problem is that the ingredients are all good, there's just too many of them. Although I have a feeling that these last few bites are going to be pretty good. Oh yeah. Now let me tell you, the parts that are not wet and soaked and soggy are excellent. Like this crust part, oh man, it's like the perfect texture. It's got like just the perfect look. It's just got like the perfect give, the perfect, you know, amount of stretch to it. So that is an excellent dough, let me tell you. You know, Tina and I actually ate here once or twice before, and it was better both times we came. So I was excited to share this place with you guys, but unfortunately, maybe today is just a bad day or something, but regardless, not a good look for consistency at least, but it's not all bad. At least it's a good crust. Let's see how the pasta is though. Okay, and the last item today has arrived. The Cacho e pepe. Just cheese mixed with black pepper, fresh black pepper, and that's pretty much it, I believe. Now the pizza may have been a letdown, but the pasta will get a chance to redeem the situation. So let's see how this is. Hopefully this will be a satisfying, beautiful in its simplicity bowl of pasta. Although it is looking a little bit watery for me. Actually, well, maybe it's okay. Though I think last time I had this, it was a little bit thicker, but actually it might be okay. All right, let's mix it up a bit. Yeah, get all that good stuff from the bottom. They say real authentic Italian food is actually not really like Italian American food. They say it's actually very simple with few ingredients, or at least the northern Italian food is more like that. So I've heard. Let's give it a try. Okay, that's still pretty good. You know, I will say that I've had this at Eataly before actually, and I don't think it's quite as good as it was last time I came here. I do think that the sauce is a little bit on the runny side. Like, as you can see by the pasta, it does seem to be having a little bit of trouble sticking to the pasta, but it's still pretty good. And the black pepper, also really fresh black pepper, freshly grated, good quality. So it's all good ingredients. Overall, I would say this is one of the better bowls of pasta you might have, especially if you have an Eataly in your city and not too many other authentic Italian options otherwise. I will say that I don't think it's spectacular, but not bad. I mean, the sauce, if they could make it a little bit thicker, then it would be a home run. We're gonna finish this and share some final thoughts outside. Okay guys, now is the time when we usually share our final thoughts, but before we do that, I could not leave Eataly without getting one of my favorite things here, a freshly filled cannoli. And I've been to Eataly a couple times, and these cannolis are always a must get. What's interesting about these cannolis is not only are they filled on the spot, made to order, they also have some flavors that you don't often see at Italian bakeries in the US. This one specifically is a sheep's milk cannoli. And I've had their other flavors. They have cow's milk, they have pistachio, I think they have like a chocolate one, but this sheep's milk one is the one to get. And of course, it's always cool to see them filling them to order. All right, perfect way to end the video. Let's dive in. You know, I gotta say, I was about to end this video on a strong note and say that, man, this cannoli was the best part, and I usually love these hand-filled cannolis. Like the delicious sweet sheep's milk filling, nice and fresh, and in this case, that is still quite good. This cream is excellent. But I just gotta be honest, it's a little, I don't know, this cannoli shell, when I went last time, it was incredible, this whole cannoli, but this time it's kind of stale. I don't know if this is something that can be shown through a video. Maybe it's one of those things where you just kind of have to eat it to see it, but you know, earlier I was saying, oh, I love how the shells are being filled one at a time and they're not pre-filled, but in this case, I think the shell has been sitting out for a really long time. I mean, let me try to break one on purpose to see if it breaks in a way that makes it clear, but look. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to be honest with you. It feels like this cannoli has been sitting out for a very long time. Not just today, maybe even from the day before. At the very least, just exposed to a lot of air. Like maybe they didn't shut the case at one point or something. But yeah, it's very stale and not very crispy, and it's a shame because the sheep's milk filling is quite nice and fresh, and you know, it's got some nice sweetness to it and a really unique taste from the sheep's milk instead of the cow's milk. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is time to end our review of Eataly. I've been to Eataly a couple times before this time, and you know, I actually had a good time both times. And I was excited to try it again and to show you guys this place, because I really did enjoy it. And you know, Eataly, this place, I gotta say, maybe today was just an off day, you know, maybe I just kind of had bad luck, but I guess I can just say Eataly, this place, kind of a mixed bag, I would say. The market, indeed, had a lot to like about it. The seafood looked really fresh. They had some great pasta offerings, both freshly made and dried pasta. They also have really good tiramisu here. When we came here before, we like to pick up their tiramisu, and it always hits every single time. And a lot of their items are pretty authentic. But unfortunately, the food we had today, a little bit uneven, especially compared to the last times that we came here. So I guess Eataly, I will say it's authentic, but at the end of the day, you know, it might depend on the day you come. It might depend on the location of the Eataly that you go to. Perhaps different locations are different, and they might vary even by city. So I guess I will just say, quality, I guess, can be a little bit hit or miss. But who knows? Maybe I just had bad luck today. Maybe it's just an off day, that's all. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have you been to Eataly before? Is there an Eataly in your city, wherever you are in the US or in the world? Let me know what your experience with Eataly is. Let me know in the comments, because great minds eat alike. If you like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. I might go ask them if they can change me out a cannoli shell that's not so old. So we'll see if we have luck with that. So until next time, I'll see you later.